Hi, I'm Elizabeth. Welcome back to my beginning bobbin lace series, Mastering the Basics. Today we are moving from diamonds, which we did in our last video, and now we are doing spiders, and we're also adding a foot side along both sides of our lace. So we're adding 2 new elements, and if you've done the previous videos, you'll be well prepared for this one. Make sure that you grab your pattern from the description box below. You can find it on Etsy, Go Imagine, or my website, sewingwithjoy.com. I'll be using Gutermann thread again. You can use any sewing thread that you have on the smaller pattern, or crochet thread for the bigger pattern. Make sure that you wind 12 bobbins for this pattern. We need extra pairs for the foot side. So let's get started. This pattern starts much the same as the last 2 that we did. We're starting on a diagonal with temporary pins and going right into torsion ground. So we'll set up our first 2. Cross twist, pin in between, cross twist. Now we can release these 2 and place them in the next temporary holes. Sometimes they catch a little bit on these homemade bobbins. Go, cross twist, pin, cross twist. Cross twist, pin, cross twist, ease, do this one, and then the next one is going to be just a little bit different because that is our passive for the foot side. One. The way that this passive and foot side is going to work is that we're going to have our passive that comes straight down our pattern, and then we'll have the thread that comes in from the side and a thread that comes down from above. At the pinhole, these 2 are going to switch positions. So the one that was out here is now going to go into the lace, and the one out here is going to travel down to the next pinhole. And then when the next one comes in, they'll switch places again. So this one will come down and then out. So it'll come down and out, just like that. That's how our foot side is going to work. I'll show you how we're going to work that with the lace. Okay, when we get to this last one, instead of placing in this temporary hole right here, we're going to hang the passive right from the top of that line. This one, we are going to hang from this outside temporary pin. So now we're going to work across this and cloth stitch, and then cloth stitch, twist on both of them, cross twist, and then add an extra twist on that outside pair. Now instead of pinning in between these 2 pairs of bobbins, we're going to pin on the inside of both of them. This will give us a lot of strength on our foot side. Now, this pair that was working down is going to stay out here on the outside edge. And this one that was on the outside is now going to become a part of the lace. So we cloth stitch through our passives and twist to re-enter the lace. And we are not ready to release this pin yet. So we'll come over here now. And we'll do the same working down the left side. We are new pair, cross twist, pin, cross twist, release the temporary pin, this last pin right there. Now we are going to hang our passive. Our passives will be green on both sides, but we also have this pair that is not a passive. Okay, so instead of pinning in this temporary hole, you can, but it'll end up with a little loop at the beginning. So you're gonna pin right in that hole where it goes, right at the start. Cloth stitch through. Now let's hang our very last. We can actually release this one. The last pair on this side. Cloth stitch and twist, and then an extra twist on the outside pair. Now you're going to pin on the inside of both of them, and then cloth stitch back through and twist just this pair, not the passives, coming back into the lace. That is how we're going to do our foot side. Okay, now we have everything on either side of our spider set up. So where you're going to work the spider. The first step of working the spider is working these stitches along the top of it. We're just going to do them in torsion ground again. Cross twist, pin, cross twist, cross twist, pin, cross twist, cross twist, pin, cross twist, and we are going to work this. We're just going to work all the way down this diagonal and do the foot side as well. Cloth stitch through the passive, cloth stitch and twist to outside with an extra twist on the very outside. Pin on the inside of these two, and then this one will stay out. And this purple one that stayed out before is now going to work back into the lace. cross stitch through the passive and twist. And now that is ready to enter the lace. Let's prepare the next side. Cloth stitch through the passive, cloth stitch and twist the outside, extra twist on the very outside pair. Now we can pin on the inside. So basically we're pinning between these two regular worker pairs and the passive pair. That's where our pin is going, is in between them. Cloth stitch back through and twist before re-entering the lace. At this point we can remove these two temporary pins and very gently pull the threads just enough so that little loop over there disappears. Okay, we are ready for our spider. You can see from these lines that we have a pair coming in from this pin, and a pair coming from this pin, and then two over here as well. So this is a 4-pair spider, and let me show you a little bit bigger of a diagram of how this is going to work. We have these threads coming in, 2 from over here and 2 from over here. They're going to loop around like this. And then this one, these are going to loop around like this. This is where our pin will go. Looking at this, if we label these 1, 2, 3, and 4, pair 2 needs to go across pairs 3 and 4. And then, that's here, 2 goes across 3 and 4. And then 1 also needs to go across 3 and 4. Before we start our spider, we need to add the legs of the spider. We're going to do, this is a really small spider, so I'm going to do 2 twists on each. They are all already have 1 from coming in from the lace. We're just going to add a second and a second. Now, pair 2 is going to come across 3 and 4, and 1 will come across 3 and 4 as well. 2 cloth stitches through 3 and 4, and then pair 1 cloth stitches through them as well. Now our pin is going to come right up the center of these into the middle of our spider. It's very important that we spend some time getting the tension good and making sure that there aren't any loops or bumps in our spider. Okay. Now that we've done the pin, we're going to do the reverse for the bottom half of the spider. It works the same way. So we're going to have pair 2 is going to come through 3 and 4. If we've relabeled these 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2 needs to come through 3 and 4, and then 1 will come through 3 and 4. So 2 is going to cloth stitch through 3 and 4, and 1 will cloth stitch through them as well. And make sure you don't go through this one. If we did, then this would cross over right here, and that's not what we want. So now that's the end of our spider. We're going to give each leg of the spider 2 twists. And to finish our spider, we're going to work the torsion coming down either side. down this to this very center one. Okay, now we can do all of the torsion and foot side leading up to the next spider. Cloth stitch spiders are very close together, and the main body of the spider is quite tight and condensed in the middle around the pinhole. Okay, we're ready to do the passive. So we cloth stitch through it, cloth stitch, twist, twist on the outside pair, and pin on the inside. Cloth stitch back through and twist before entering the lace. Cloth stitch, set that aside, cloth stitch, twist, extra twist on the outside, oops, make sure those didn't get twisted, pin, and come back through. Push down these outside edges a little bit as I go. Cloth stitch through the passives and twist before entering the lace. Okay, now we're going to slide everything over and do the other side in the same way. Cloth stitch, twist, extra twist on the outside, pin on the inside of the two, and go back through. Passive, cloth stitch, twist, twist, pin, twist before entering, Twist before re-entering the lace. Then back through the passive, the outside edge. Okay, now we have everything done leading up to our next spider. Next spider we will do cloth stitch spider again. We'll do 2, and then we'll do 2 half stitch spiders. Okay, so we have these 2 on this side. Give them both an extra twist. We'll have, oh, we need to work down this side actually. Not quite ready. Twist before entering the lace again. Okay, now we are ready. We have these 2 pairs of bobbins coming off those pins. Give them their extra twist. Oops, sorry. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're taking pair 2, working it through the outside edge, and then pair 1 works through and stops before it goes through the one that has already been worked. If it's already gone through, we don't go through it again. You can kind of see the pattern of how it goes. 2 lines basically making a like a tic-tac-toe line. Pin in the center. Wiggle and jiggle everything to get it good. Now we'll do the same to come out of it. 2 goes across to the edge, and then 1 comes across and stops right there. Wiggle and jiggle it up to get our tension good. Add 2 twists on each one. Now we will do the torsion coming right down this side. Now we can do the torsion on either side leading up to our next spider, which will be our first half stitch spider. This time I'm working the left side first. It doesn't matter which side of the ground you do first. Oops. Back that up. I needed to twist this before entering the lace, and then just do a half stitch before pinning. Now I will do this side. Lots of great practice doing torsion ground. Come back through, finish up this other side, and we'll be get ready to start with our half stitch spider. it is very, very similar to the hole stitch spider, and then in the way that the half stitch diamond was very similar to the cloth stitch diamond, where the order that we work it and how we work it is the exact same. We're just using half stitch instead of full stitch. I really like the way that half stitch spiders look. I think just in general I'm kind of a fan of the way the half stitch looks. Okay, so we're going to start with our 4 pairs of bobbins. Everybody gets extra twist for 2 twists total. Now we're going to do this in the same way where 2 works across 3 and 4, and then 1 works across 3 and 4, but just with half stitch. So cross, twist, move on to the next one, cross, twist. Now that's done, 1 is going to work across them as well. Cross, twist, next, cross, twist. And that's what we've got now. So now we can stick the pin right in the center and give them a little wiggle and jiggle for tension, and do the same to come out. Cross, twist, cross, twist. Now this one, cross, twist, cross, twist. Now we'll give each of them an extra twist, and you will notice that even though we have used cloth stitch, because we basically reversed what we did on the bottom half and the top half, our pairs have now come back together. And we will do our pushing round down the sides. To finish this spider up. Go. That is the end of our half stitch spider. Okay, working down the side, we will prepare for the next half stitch practice. Oops, got on that pin a little bit. I'm going to do this side now. Oh, we need to do this other, finish up this other side still. Similar to the last pattern where we had diamonds more spread out and then diamonds close together, we'll be doing the same in this next section where we do spiders close together. But it isn't going to, whoops, hold on a second. It isn't going to change how we do the spiders. Bring in our things, give them each an extra twist, and we'll work them in the same way that we did before. 2 across 3 and 4, just half stitch, 1 across, just like that. Stick our pin in. And then do the same, finish it up. Extra twist. And torsion ground down the sides. Once you have spiders down, they're really fun to work, and I find them a nice break from the ground. I think it's nice to have a little break where you only have one pin in an area instead of a whole bunch. losing my pins now. Probably could have a while ago. There we go. Now we can do 2 across 3 and across 4 and 1 across 3 and 4. Then 2 across 3 and 4, 1 across 3 and 4. Twist, 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 twist. And we can work down the side. There are a great deal of spider variations, and this is the smallest kind of spider with 4 pairs, but you can get up to much larger spiders with a lot more pairs, and the principles stay the same when you're doing this basic kind of spider. I love to do a spider sampler where I demonstrate a whole bunch of kinds of spiders and sizes of spiders. Don't like spiders in real life, but lace spiders are quite fun. Let's work another cloth stitch spider. Remember to twist the legs. There we go. Twist, twist, twist. You don't have to do all of the torsion ground on the edge of the spider before you I'm doing a little bit here and then also doing some of this outside groundwork. But it is kind of a good practice to finish it up before moving on to the outside, because it's a little bit easier to fine-tune your tension before you've done additional groundwork. Now let's do another half stitch spider here. Do across 3 and 4, half stitch, one goes across and half stitch. Now let's finish it off. It is quite satisfying to see those colors come back together like that. Twist before re-entering the lace. Just got the pin. Accidentally caught my passive in the pin. There we go. Let's move on over to the other side. Somewhere along the way, two of my blue pairs of bobbins got a little mixed up. These two got swapped somewhere. That's okay. Okay, let's do a half stitch spider. Stitch. Okay. For this last one, you can choose, you can choose which one you want. Half stitch or whole stitch for all of them. I'm gonna do half stitch on this last one because I just really like the way that half stitch spiders look. If you ever come across a spider in a pattern, you can always change it to be a different variation of spider as long as it has the same number of legs. These patterns are very easy to adapt to the things that you like, and prefer a cloth stitch to whole stitch or a different kind of ground. Get to have a lot of creative liberties with bobbin lace. Oh, I should have worked down this side of the spider first before doing this ground. Oops. There is the end of our bookmark. Now I will show you just another possibility of ways to finish this. Last one with the diamonds, we did one pair at a time, doing reef knots. This time, we're going to do 2 pairs at a time. sure everything. We're going to take them all together. We're going to loop around and go through the loop. And then we're going to use a pin and just kind of slide it up so that as we pull it, it's near the base. I'll keep going with the rest of these. It'll end up looking very similar to the ending of our last one. It's just a slightly different way of doing it. Quicker than the other one too. Loop, slide it up. There we go. Let's take off all of our middle pins. Now we can really start to see our spiders that we made. So again, you can leave this to set overnight on your pillow, or if you can't wait, you can take it out immediately. It's your lace, your choice. There we go. There is our completed spider bookmark with the 2 foot sides. You can see the passives, green passives coming down the edge, and the color on the edge is changing as those pairs come in and stay on the outside for one distance between pins and then go back in. I love the half stitch spiders, as I've already said. The whole stitch spiders are also pretty fun. So there we go. The next one is going to be the rose ground pattern, and that will be our final bookmark for this series. Thank you so much for watching this video about spiders and footsides. I hope that this was really helpful to you. Up next, we're going to be doing rose ground, so let me know if you're excited about that, and we'll meet you in the next one. Bye!